Working the night shift has its perks. No noisy coworkers, no complaining teachers or bosses, just you and the silence. But over time, you start to notice something unsettling. Buildings at night don't just feel quiet, they feel dead. The groan of pipes sounds like breathing. The creak of floorboards becomes footsteps trailing behind you. And your imagination, it starts painting shadows with intent. But what if those footsteps aren't in your head at all? Tonight, we'll explore real accounts from people whose routine night shifts turned into fights for survival. Part 1. The Basement Nightmare. A janitor who'd worked in a 1950s-era middle school for nearly 5 years always felt uneasy about the basement. It was a concrete maze. Low-hanging pipes, storage rooms filled with decades of forgotten furniture. Vet and staff warned him, avoid it unless absolutely necessary. One night, he had no choice. He needed folding chairs stored down there. The air was thick with the smell of damp cement and dust. As he gathered the chairs, he froze. From deep in the corridor, a slow, dragging sound, like someone shuffling one foot across the floor. He swung his flashlight. Nothing. Just empty hallway. He returned minutes later and found a classroom door slightly ajar.
Let me out.
He knew he'd locked it. Inside, the room was empty, but the moment he turned to leave, that dragging sound came again, right behind his shoulder. He ran. Didn't look back. Later, he heard it. The frantic rattle of a doorknob from inside the basement. Someone, or something, was trying to get out. Part 2. Someone's breathing in the dark. Another janitor worked in a massive 4-story high school. One night, around midnight, he noticed a classroom door open, though he'd personally locked it hours before. Inside, a cardboard box had moved. From against the wall to the exact center of the room, he closed the door firmly, walked away. An hour later, he passed by again. The door stood wide open, and this time, from the darkness within, slow, labored breathing. Not panicked, not accidental. It sounded like someone was trying to be quiet, but wanted to be heard. A coworker later told him a student once hid in that room as part of a prank, years ago. But that didn't explain who, or what. Was breathing in a sealed room, with every door locked from the outside.
Here, where could he have gone?
Part 3. The Ghost on Stage. In old schools, few places feel as haunted as the auditorium. One night worker recalled how even the smallest sound, the clatter of a dropped mop, would echo endlessly through the hollow space. Then, one night, he heard footsteps on stage. He checked backstage. Ropes, props,
Hello?
old chairs. No one. As he mopped the aisles, a whisper came from above. Clear. Deliberate. It spoke his name. Right behind him, he dropped his flashlight. Later, he learned the truth. Years earlier, a drama teacher had collapsed and died of a heart attack. Right on that stage during rehearsal. Since then, staff have reported footsteps and whispers calling out to anyone who lingers too long after dark. Part 4. The Real Threat Under the Desk. Not every night terror is supernatural. Sometimes the most terrifying presence is very much alive. A night clerk at a small roadside motel remembers a night at 2 a.m. the bell on the front desk rang. 3 times. Each time he stepped out from the back room, the lobby was completely empty. So he decided to wait, sat right behind the counter. Then, without warning, a pale hand rose from under the desk. Slowly, deliberately, it pressed the bell. Someone had been hiding beneath him the entire time, just inches away. Security footage later showed a man in a hood had slipped behind the desk and stayed hidden for hours, watching, waiting. Part 5. The Killer on Campus. During a violent storm, a college campus lost all power. A janitor, alone in the blackout, saw a face peer around a stairwell corner. A figure began following him, slipping behind half-open doors, vanishing when he turned. Police arrived but found no intruder. Then came the chilling update. A serial killer was active in the area that night. Witnesses placed him near campus. The shadow in the hallway wasn't a ghost. It was a predator, hunting in the dark. Night shift workers often say they get used to the strange sounds. The groans, the echoes, the sudden silences. But the stories we've shared tonight remind us, sometimes instinct isn't paranoia. If you feel watched from an empty classroom or sense movement under your desk, it might not be your imagination. Stay alert, lock your doors, and never assume you're truly alone. Have you ever worked the night shift? Heard something you couldn't explain? Share your story in the comments below.